Hello, everybody. I'm going to read you a book today called Physical Maps. Here's our table of contents. You can see all the chapters, the chapter titles, what page they start on. Okay, why are maps useful? Maps are detailed drawings of Earth. There are many different kinds of maps. Some maps show an area's states, cities, or roads. These maps can help us find where we are going. Some maps give us information about the world we live in. For example, a map can show what kind of foods are grown in a certain country or continent. This hiker is using a map to find his way through the forest. Physical maps show the natural features of an area, such as mountains, oceans, and lakes. A physical map might also show glaciers, deserts, plains, or plateaus. Glaciers are slow-moving rivers of ice. Some physical maps show their location and give information about their size. Maps have been used for many years to find the location and details of an area. This map of the world was created hundreds of years ago. Physical maps. Physical maps show the physical features found on Earth. Physical features are landforms created by nature. Some landforms are small, such as hills. Other landforms are large, such as mountains and plains. Some physical maps also include features built by humans. These features can include buildings, roads, and bridges. This map of the United States shows large landforms such as the Rocky Mountains and the Great Lakes. We need physical maps to define areas of land. A physical map of the Rocky Mountains shows us where the mountains are located. It also shows us the cities and towns around them. The Rocky Mountains run more than 3,000 miles through the United States and Canada. These soldiers are using a physical map to learn about the landforms near their military base. Making physical maps. Making physical maps requires skill and a lot of information about our planet. Some information comes from surveys of the land. Other information comes from photographs taken from cameras attached to the bottom of airplanes. The airplane flies along a planned path. The camera takes many images of the same area. Each image shows a slightly different view. These pictures are called aerial photographs. Map makers use many images of an area to create a physical map. Map makers use a tool called stereoscope to look at aerial photographs. A stereoscope acts like 3D glasses. Map makers view two photographs of the same area taken at different angles. The photographs partly lie on top of each other. The stereoscope gives a three-dimensional view of the landscape. This view shows the landform and features that go on a map. With the stereoscope, this photograph would appear three-dimensional. Without one, the image looks blurry. Map makers also use detailed photos of Earth taken from satellites in space to create physical maps. Satellites use many tools to gather information. Their computers can show exact locations of landforms on Earth. All of this information, called data, is used to make maps. Maps used to be drawn by hand. Today, most maps are made on a computer. Computer maps are called digital maps. GIS is another tool used for making physical maps. GIS stands for Geographic Information System. It is a computer system for storing geographic and map information. Map facts. People have been drawing and using maps for thousands of years. The first maps were made on clay tablets. Maps made on computers have more details than maps drawn by hand. Thousands of satellites fly over Earth. Many take photos to measure landforms. Using physical maps. Physical maps show us what the land in an area looks like. Engineers use physical maps to plan where building human-made structures, such as roads and bridges. Look at the picture of the bridge below. Why would looking at a physical map be helpful for the engineer building this bridge? What kind of physical features would make it difficult to build a bridge? Engineers studied physical maps before building this bridge across the river. Mountain climbers and hikers also use physical maps to plan their trips. A physical map shows climbers the elevation or height of the mountain they are climbing and what kind of terrain is found in the area. It can also show areas that can be dangerous or require special skills to climb, such as a glacier. To safely climb a glacier, mountain climbers need to be prepared to know their location. A physical map provides climbers with this important information. It says mountain climbers study a map on their climb. Physical map features. Physical maps pack a lot of information into a small space. To do this, map makers use symbols to stand for real mountains, rivers, and forests. Symbols can be simple shapes or drawings that stand for something. They can also be lines that represent a river or a road. Map symbols are explained in a box called a legend. The legend on this map shows symbols that represent features such as cities and mountains. A map's title gives you information about what is being shown on the map. So this is the physical map of Tennessee. Like most maps, a physical map also has a compass rose. The compass rose shows the 4 directions: north, east, south, and west. On the map below, find Nashville. What lake is found to the west of Nashville? There's Nashville. Let's go west. It's Kentucky Lake. Look, there's Oak Ridge. We live right around in this area. Hikers find their way by using a map and comparing it to the landforms around them. Map facts. All the marks on a map are symbols, including lines that mark borders. Physical maps also use color as a symbol. Scale on physical maps. The scale of a map shows how distance on a map relates to actual distance in the real world. For example, look at the physical map of the Denver, Colorado area. The scale explains that 1 inch on the map is equal to 40 miles in actual distance. Approximately how far is Denver from the nearby city of Colorado Springs? There's Denver, there's Colorado Springs. I would say it's about 2 inches, maybe close to 2 inches. Find 3 cities that are within 40 miles of Denver. So Castle Rock, Golden, and Boulder are all within 40 miles. Maps can be large scale and small scale. A large scale map shows a small geographic area. The scale represents a smaller distance than on a map showing a larger area. For example, on a small scale map, 1 inch might be equal to 100 miles. On a large scale map, the same measurement might only equal 1 mile. On this small scale map, 1 inch represents more than 10 times the distance than on the map of Colorado from page 16. So this scale, 1 inch was 40 miles, but on this one, 1 inch is 300 miles. Maps and landscapes. Some physical maps show the landscape of a certain place. Landscapes are the visible features of an area of land. Landforms are one part of a landscape. Landscapes also include other features such as the buildings, trees, and roads. Some physical maps show the landscapes of large areas, such as an entire continent or country. Others show smaller areas, such as a national park or a forest. Landscapes have a lot to do with how we live. How is the landscape of the area shown above different from the landscape of a busy city shown on the left? Maps show an image of a landscape from above. Imagine you were looking down from a tall building. The street below you would seem small. You would see all of the street's landmarks scaled down in size. This photo of the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C. was taken from above. Everything looks smaller than it actually appears on the ground. Landforms on maps. Earth's landforms vary in size and shape. Some physical maps use color and shading to show their shape and height. The legend on the landform map explains what each color represents. So here's the map legend. Mountains and hills are a brownish color, lowlands are a green color, and the water is blue. There are many kinds of landforms. Mountains usually appear in groups called ranges. Plateaus are highlands between mountain ranges. Valleys or lowlands are low areas surrounded by hills or mountains. Broad flat areas called plains lie along the coasts or inland on a continent. Long, steep slopes are found in the Great Rift Valley in Kenya. This picture shows the plains in southern Alberta, located east of the Rocky Mountains. Highlands and lowlands. Physical maps show Earth's high points and low points. The height of a piece of land is called its elevation. The height of a piece, I just wrote that. High points include mountains and plateaus, or flatlands. Low points include marshes and valleys. A detailed physical map shows low-lying coasts and tall hills in different colors. A land's elevation is measured from sea level. Sea level is the height of the ocean where it meets land. Map makers ensure a mountain's elevation from sea level to the top of the mountain. For example, Mount Everest in Asia is 29,029 feet above sea level. The mountain's height was first determined during a survey made in 1856. Mount Everest is the highest mountain on Earth. Satellite images show the elevation of Earth's landforms. Map facts. Physical maps can show elevation with lines, shading, and color. Mountains look wrinkled. The coast may look flat and can be shown in one color. Topographic maps. A topographic map is a kind of physical map that shows elevation and slope in landscapes and three-dimensional 3D detail. Most topographical maps use contour lines to show changes in height. Contour lines are curved lines that join points of equal elevation. Lines that appear close together show steep areas, while lines spaced apart show less steep slopes. Even in the 1500s, people made topographical maps. Find the roads and hills on this map of Cologne, Germany. Topographical maps are made from measurements taken by surveyors. Surveyors measure the position of things. Some topographic maps with contour lines look like puzzles. If you know the meaning of the lines, it is easy to understand the map. Surveyors use a number of tools to measure the landscape. All right, we're going to skip this part. And I want you to look, here is the glossary. And we've talked a lot about the glossary and the index. The glossary is the nonfiction or the informational book's personal library. And one word in particular I want to look at is the word terrain. The terrain is the physical features of an area of land. Okay. All right, and here's the index. We've also talked about the index. All right, so that is the end of that book. Thanks for listening.